Jerome Mayhew.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Now, there's one of the great pleasures of being tail end Charlie in these debates is you do have the opportunity to sit through and listen to every contribution. The disadvantage is you then get nudged by the front bench to say, hurry up. So I've torn up my original speech and I've focused instead, Madam Deputy Speaker, on the bits of the contributions of others that you did not have the opportunity to hear yourself, because there have been lots of very interesting suggestions on how we can solve this problem, a problem which we all agree needs to be addressed. I'm a father of teenage children as well. I share the concerns of the Honourable Member for Winchester. I've got experience of my own children's friends, I hasten to add. That's what they all say. That is, as you say, what they all say. Using vapes, obviously wholly inappropriately. But part of the problem in coming to the correct solution for this shared concern has been demonstrated by the richness of the debate that we've had today, because there have been all sorts of suggestions have been made. I've just a non-exclusive list, exhaustive list, says some honourable members said we should ban flavours. Some of those said we should ban all flavours. Others, though, said we should ban flavours which were focused directly on young palates. There's been suggestions that we should ban disposable vapes. We should require bland packaging for vapes, although others suggested that it's not so much the packaging, but they should be hidden behind closed doors. There's been a suggestion that we should increase the cost of vapes, but that was a controversial suggestion because the Honourable lady opposite rightly pointed out that for those who are seeking to give up smoking, adults giving up smoking, who are on very limited means, then the cost of vapes is a very relevant consideration. So we don't want to... I will, with pleasure.
The cost is indeed important. It's important in terms of keeping price-sensitive children out of the market of pocket money, but it's also important in ensuring that people who are smokers who are used to using to quit can quit. But if you're a smoker affording a packet of cigarettes, even if you put £5 on a vape, a disposable vape, as described by Member for Romsey, it's still cheaper.
Intervention, and I don't have skin in the game in this sense on whether it's better to have a higher cost or a lower cost, but the intervention merely highlights my fundamental point, which is this is a complex area where we need evidence to base our policy on. Marketing. It's been suggested that we should crack down on marketing. Others have suggested that we should increase education in schools. And that there is in fact a wider debate about schools policy and the use of the loos in schools. And then there's concerns overriding all of that, which is what impact could our actions in relation to vapes and single-use vapes as well have on the ability of adults to give up smoking and to continue the downward trend of smoking addiction in this country. So these are really serious and interrelated issues. So if this debate were to come to a vote, there's no way I could support the Labour motion, which focuses solely on banning branding and advertising for the young, because it may not go far enough. It may just focus on one little area, when the richness of this debate on both sides has highlighted how much wider, how much more complex this issue is. And so what we're really talking about here, Madam Deputy Speaker, isn't so much about our concerns about vaping and vaping for children, but there's a main issue is how should we make our law? Because it's a given on both sides, and the government and the front bench and the first speech that set up for the government made clear that the government has already acted and is intending to go further. In fact, there was health OPQs just yesterday where the Secretary of State for Health said that they were looking to go further, particularly on single-use disposables. So it's not a question on whether we're going to act, it's on what basis do we act. And for my money, Madam Deputy Speaker, we should act on the evidence and not solely on anecdote. Important though that is, but we should...
The Honourable Lady has made a long contribution, and I do have two other speakers to get in. That's the only problem. Jerome Mayhew.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, for your indication there. So in wrapping up my submissions, Madam Deputy Speaker, I think the government is absolutely right to have gone out for a call for evidence. That evidence has now been obtained last month, and they should take every second that is needed in order to assess that evidence and come up with draft proposals, but not a second longer, because this is a very important issue. As a parent, the concerns shared across this House, we need to address it. We can't waste time, but it should be based on the evidence.